Shot King, as Josh King.
Convincing win from
for sure. Same formation to play 4-5. What's up YouTube? Welcome back to our channel where we try to predict the results of the English Premier League every week, always chasing that perfect 10 out of 10.
Don't forget to like and subscribe, and if you like what we're doing, turn on your notifications right now. Let's go!
So back to a full week this week, 10 games.
Yes. And not over like 2 weeks like it was a week ago.
That was terrible.
Yes.
Alright, so back to normal. First one is Liverpool versus Bournemouth. Unfortunately, Liverpool are no longer invincible in the Premier League this season.
Why unfortunate?
It would have been good to have someone else as an invincible team.
Really?
Yeah, too bad. Hey, too bad. Yeah. we would like to share this sort of
I'm sure you would.
title, but
I'm sure.
Yeah,
I'm sure. I've seen so many funny things about like the Arsenal fans want to put a statue of Sarr next to Henry and stuff.
I want him in my house. Alright, so they were beaten 3-0 at Watford. Of all the teams, we never would have guessed, I think.
3-0.
3-0.
Imagine the odds on that. I wish
Liverpool dominated the first half, but were a bit all over the place in the second half. They only had 7 shot attempts total, with one of which on target, even with their 70% possession. Liverpool faced Chelsea next for the FA Cup midweek. Bournemouth, on the other hand, drew 2-2 at home against Chelsea. I was correct in saying that they are getting more shot chances, as Josh King and Callum Wilson are back in the lineup. Possession was still a problem though, as they only had about a quarter of the ball against Chelsea. Ake is back from injury and was crucial, along with Ramsdale in keeping out the 23 shot attempts by Chelsea.
Ramsdale was very impressive.
Yes, very good. With this game being at Anfield, I'm expecting Liverpool to have most of the ball, but I think Bournemouth will have their chances on the counter and could score also. The handicap is -1.5 to 2 goals on Liverpool. Huge positive on Bournemouth's side. I don't think it will be 2-0, 3-0. So if that's the case, then betting on Bournemouth is definitely a more sensible choice for me.
I think even with betting aside, I think we're all in agreement that Liverpool are probably going to win this game.
Yeah, for sure.
But how they're going to win it, that will be something interesting to watch. I'm expecting a tight Liverpool win here. Even 1-0 maybe. But something that's even more exciting to watch would be that Bournemouth pacey forwards running at Van Dijk and things. I'm interested to see now that Liverpool finally, the first bump they've hit. I want to see how they're going to react to it. So it'll be interesting, but I'm going to say Liverpool win here.
Arsenal versus West Ham United. The Gunners were just knocked out of the Europa League after their 1-2 defeat against Olympiacos. Again, defensive problems from set pieces, and Aubameyang missed a sitter in the final minutes.
I think a sitter is being kind, man. That was like criminal. Who else would you want that chance to fall to?
For sure, Aubameyang should have hit that. It was a very easy one for him.
I don't know how he missed the target.
He should have been able to hit that with his eyes closed. He was so close. He'd be doing it in his dreams, you know. At 10th place of a tight table, probably a good thing that we got knocked out.
We'll see how it goes.
A lot rides on Arteta to reinvigorate the team morale this week. I think it shouldn't be a problem after their win in the FA Cup. The Hammers beat the Saints 3-1 with a new lineup. Owen, Fornals, Antonio with Haller up front proved to be very effective in attack, where all of them were involved in the 3 goals. With only a third of the ball, they had more shots in total and half of them were on target, which is pretty outstanding. I can see this new attacking energy being a problem for Arsenal. There is a -1 goal handicap on the Gunners, but it's also unknown whether Arsenal will be in the right mental state. So I'm calling a draw.
Straight up draw?
Yeah, draw. So betting on West Ham would be sensible.
I think the key thing that Roger mentioned there was just the mental state of everything. I think that's something that West Ham are going to want to exploit, if they can. But I don't think they will be able to. I have always been a fan of Arsenal's attacking power throughout all your teams. This team, no different. Aubameyang, I'm sure he's going to just keep scoring. That's what he does. Lacazette, Ozil, Pepe. So much movement up front. I think West Ham are going to struggle. I'm going to say 2-1 or 3-1 Arsenal.
Ooh, okay. I'd be happy with that. Next is Crystal Palace versus Watford. Crystal Palace got another W with another 1-0 win, but this time away at Brighton. Both teams were pretty poor, to be honest. We watched it. It was so boring. I nearly fell asleep.
Yeah.
Ayew got the goal from an assist from Benteke. Gaita also did well and got man of the match with saves. Watford got a huge W as well. The most significant W for all teams this season, I think. Sarr got a brace and an assist. Hence,
The legend.
Yeah,
the legend
man
himself.
of the match. Crystal Palace has been solid in defence, but I think if Watford's last game was their Super Saiyan moment to the start of their charge out of relegation, then I'm putting my money on Watford.
Yeah, I mean, what a moment to like wake up. Even that aside, I went back into the history books. Watford have never lost to Palace.
Okay.
Yeah, so I think that's going to continue. Watford win.
Sheffield versus Norwich. Sheffield had a rest on the weekend due to Aston Villa's Carabao Cup final with Man City, but will travel to Reading for their FA Cup game. Norwich got a 1-0 home win against Leicester. Lewis scored the goal and got man of the match. So, if you listen to me and put money on Norwich, good on you. Again, always looking for positive handicap bets for home games. With the negative half to 1 goal handicap on Sheffield, this one is harder to bet on, as I can see like a 2-1 Sheffield win.
Yeah, I'm in the same frame of mind there. Sheffield have just been so good. Roger and I were talking off camera. The last 14 competitive games, Sheffield have only lost 3, of which they were against Liverpool and Man City. That's incredible. We've spoken a lot about Sheffield on this channel. But just to think about that, the only teams they've lost to have been Liverpool and Man City. Respectable, great.
Yeah.
They're going to continue their form in this game. Sheffield win.
Alright, next one is Southampton versus Newcastle United. Southampton lost 3-1 to West Ham. We predicted Southampton to win, but they did have 2/3 of the possession, but only translating to 10 shot attempts and 2 on target. Bit poor.
Yes.
Ings didn't start. Obafemi got the goal. Not effective enough according to the stats. You watched part of the game,
Yes,
though,
yes.
did you?
Yeah, it was a big surprise that Ings didn't start, and there was nothing really going forward for Southampton. Shane Long, he puts in a lot of effort, he's running about trying to make things happen, but the ball rarely came to him, and when it did, he didn't really do too much. Ward-Prowse and them, it just wasn't clicking.
Okay.
But as soon as Ings came on, that's kind of when I stopped watching, so I'm not sure what happened after that.
Well, Ward-Prowse did get the assist for Obafemi.
Okay.
Yeah, so.
Okay. I think Ings brings a lot, not just his goals, but his movement.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, he opens up a lot of space for the midfield to be effective.
Newcastle had a goalless draw at home against Burnley. Possession was quite even, but Newcastle did have more attacks and shots. Not sure why St. Maximin, who came on at 78 minutes, didn't start. Burnley just defended very well. A draw prediction was decent. Newcastle will play away at West Brom midweek for the FA Cup.
Yes.
Newcastle has a +half to 1 goal handicap. I can see some value in that. Southampton isn't very good at home, so betting wise, I'd probably go for Newcastle.
I'm thinking straight up draw in this game, just because if you look at the impact players on each team, Ings for Southampton, St. Maximin for Newcastle, both of them haven't been in great form, and I just feel without them, both teams aren't very effective going forward. So just based on that, I think a draw here.
Next one is Wolverhampton Wanderers versus Brighton and Hove Albion. Mouthful there. Wolves came through with an away win at White Hart Lane, as we expected. They were down 2-1 at the very end of the first half, which got Santo really fired up. He was kicking imaginary things on the ground.
Kicking people.
Surely he ripped into the team about it at halftime and tightened up the defense, which they did, and scored 2 more to get the win. Goals were scored by the usual suspects, Jota, Jimenez and Doherty. Ollie seemed to be not on his A game for that one though. Bit risky, but I hope that one was one of the bad ones that he got out of the system.
Yeah, that's what I'm hoping for.
Yeah, the Seagulls lost 0-1 to the Eagles. They had 24 shot attempts, 8 on target, but none of them really challenged Gaita. I'm expecting a comfortable win for the Wolves, who have a -half to 1 goal handicap at home, probably around a 2-0 for me.
Yeah, I'm in the same area of thoughts as you. I think Brighton, they've just had a flurry of losses and draws recently. I don't think that's going to change with this game. Wolves going to have some great confidence to go along with their great firepower going forward. So yeah, 2-0. I mean, who's not to say 3-0? But I'm expecting convincing wins from Wolves.
For sure. Burnley versus Tottenham Hotspur. The Clarets drew 0-0 at Newcastle. Good defense got them the point. The whole back line and Pope did their job defending all the Newcastle attacks. Spurs lost 2-3 at home to Wolves. Bergwijn and Aurier scored in the first half. Aurier also did very well in positioning and speed of his crosses, but they still lack creativity and a capable striker to give that final touch without Son and Kane. Ali was not really doing enough, I feel. Just lacking that striker's instinct.
Yeah.
Mourinho will probably have to change his formation and tactics, I feel, but he does have a lack of options at the moment.
His hands are tied.
Yeah, so I'm favouring Burnley more. They do have a flat to plus half a goal handicap, and they're at home. They're still not really losing that much.
Yeah.
Winning most games
Yeah.
against any opponent. So I'm going for Burnley for this one.
Yeah, my initial thought when I saw this game, I was just going to say, yeah, I think a draw. Burnley doing really well, Spurs doing poorly, a draw here. But then I started to think about it more, and the reason I don't think it's going to be a draw is just because that Spurs defense is quite poor.
Yeah.
I could see Burnley being a problem for them. And that's the reason I'm also saying a Burnley win here.
Yeah, especially if Mourinho doesn't start Vertonghen or Alderweireld.
That was a surprise.
Yeah, it was.
But I mean, like, even that aside, as Rog just mentioned, Mourinho doesn't have too many options going forward. And the options that he does have, are they good enough to get through that Burnley defense with Pope there in the back? I don't think so. They're in great form. I think it's a big call from us, but yeah, Burnley win here.
Chelsea versus Everton. Chelsea shared the points with Bournemouth. Alonso got a brace and did very well, but like it's been for a while now, Pedro and Mount lacked the creativity and brilliance they had earlier in the season.
Yeah.
I think Abraham needs to start for this game. Pedro and Mount will need to help with defense as well. Chelsea will have to host Liverpool for the FA Cup game midweek as well. Everton tied 1-1 with Man U, as we predicted. I thought both sides would score another, especially Everton, and they certainly had their chances. Calvert-Lewin got a cheeky rebound goal from De Gea's goal kick, which took too long, I think.
7 seconds.
Yeah. Chelsea lacks a bit of stability in midfield without Kante. If Lampard keeps the same formation to play 5-2-2-1 defense and 3-4-2-1 offense, I think they will find themselves defending a lot against Everton.
Yeah.
I'm guessing a 1-2 to Everton. The question for me would be whether I should play it safe and go for the plus half to 1 handicap for Everton, or just go straight up Everton win.
Yeah, I'm not as confident in calling an Everton win here as my boy Rog is. I'm thinking it's a draw in this game.
Okay.
I think almost every game that Chelsea plays, something out of the ordinary will happen. You'll get a brace from your left back, you'll get these offside goals, you'll get red cards that weren't given. I think this is going to be a great game to watch. Everton came up against United. It was a kind of an open game, but I was really expecting Everton to have more of a killer edge to them.
Okay.
But Calvert-Lewin, he didn't do enough for me, I felt. No one really going forward for Everton was a threat. Just my gut feeling in this game is I think it's going to be a draw.
Manchester derby. United drew 1-1 at Everton. Fernandes scored, who had 6 shots out of the whole team's 14, which is quite impressive.
Yeah.
Martial and Greenwood were both limited to 2 and 1 shot attempts respectively, and none of them on target. They travelled to Derby for the FA Cup game next week. City won the EFL Cup against Aston Villa with a 1-2 win. They dominated the game with over 2/3 of the possession, but only were able to score 2 goals, which were by Aguero and Rodri. They travelled to Sheffield Wednesday for the FA Cup game midweek. I'm guessing a lot of players will be rested for the FA Cup game in the City squad, but I'm not so sure about the United side though. United won 1-2 in the reverse fixture, and that's also my guess for this game. 1-2 away win, which is also exactly the handicap. Do you think Man U can come through with a draw or better, Pro?
It's possible, but I'm not too confident in that. But I feel like I'm saying the same thing that I did in the previous fixture when City played at home. I remember saying the same thing, like, just Man City, they're the better team. They should be winning this. We won that game. I don't know. Again, I still feel Man City are the better team. They should be winning this. It comes down to just mental state. We spoke about this a few weeks ago. Are Man City going to play their games now, trying to prove that it wasn't all about the money and they still care about the club and they still want pride and passion? If there's ever a time to show it, it will be the Manchester derby. But I think a City win. I do think a City win, and I'm going to go with Rog here 2-1.
Last one, Leicester versus Aston Villa. Leicester didn't look like the team they started the season with again, losing 0-1 at Norwich. Vardy has a hamstring issue and so wasn't on the team sheet. Ndidi is back though and came on in the second half. Iheanacho's goal was ruled out by VAR to an earlier handball. Leicester will be playing at home next against Birmingham for the FA Cup game. Aston Villa got defeated 1-2 in the EFL final by Man City, in which Samatta scored the goal. They did well to keep the score at 1-2 considering the stats. I have a feeling this could be a draw or Villa win. Leicester has been lacking in goals. Ndidi's back, so it might be harder for Villa to score, but I think they still could. Villa has a +1 to 1.5 goal handicap, which is crazy considering Leicester's recent form.
I don't even understand handicap betting all that much, but I'm sold.
I'm sold, yeah.
Yeah,
I'm sold.
yeah.
Basically, if they lose by 1 away, I still win half my bet.
Yeah. No, that sounds like a good
bargain.
bet. Yeah. Because I don't really know what to expect from Leicester anymore. My confidence in them is dropping quick.
Yeah.
But in this game, personally, I don't think Villa can win this game. Leicester at home, I mean, they should be winning this game. But we said the same thing against like Norwich. They should have won that and they just didn't. Now they're at home, they should be winning this, but because I do not have too much confidence in them, I'm calling a straight up draw. I think emotionally, and I think this is going to be a pretty dead game.
Even if so, that's a good bet on Aston Villa.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah.
So, fantasy. I did the free hit last weekend.
A good one as well.
Yeah, because I had more than 4 players in the teams that didn't have a game, so I might as well. Apparently there will be another week with potentially a lot of teams without a game as well. So
that's why I was keeping my...
I've already made my changes because some of the people I used for the free hit,
they paid off.
Yeah, they really paid off. I took out Van Dijk for Doherty. And I took out Ings for Shota. I still got Alexander-Arnold, and maybe I could get funds elsewhere and maybe put another Liverpool player in later in the stage. It's coming to the end of the season where I think it's the appropriate time to use all your funds on the players on the pitch. But now, this is my team.
Okay, so as Rod said, his free hits really paid off. He beat me again this week. Now we're in week 29, 9 weeks left.
Yeah.
That's gonna be tight. I need to get my things together. And in so doing, I'm also gonna be making a few changes. I do think I'm gonna try to swap out Bolly for Doherty, just because Doherty is getting the points. I think Bolly is a very good defender, but if the points are there with Doherty, I need to do something to keep this guy away. And I think it's probably time to let Firmino go. He doesn't really do as much as you would expect from a Liverpool striker. With all the goals and assists that they're getting, it's not too often that he's the one creating the assist. He assists the assistant. And I'm gonna try to get your boy Aubameyang in just because I need a consistent source of points. My team was just littered with twos. I need someone to get the big points other than Pope. So we'll see how it goes. You might see Aubameyang, you might see Doherty in this team. Let me know, but this is my team for this week.
Alright, so that's it for this week. It's a pretty tough week to call some of the games, so betting wise, handicap is a really useful tool. Yes. So have a look at those odds and see what you think.
Catch you next time.
Happy game week.